Now, the very first scopes were constructed from brass and from glass from the collapsing telescopes like sailors used to use. Their primitive design used inverse reactive prisms and unilateral phase detractors to combine the light once it was separated. It was then aligned and synchronized in an asymmetric block. Now, they gave it the short nickname, the long-range optical encapsulator aiming device, obviously. The new design relied heavily on medial interaction and magneto-reluctance to get the overall capacitive alignment just right. Now, while this sounds quite obvious, there were trade-offs, of course. Now, the eyepiece had to be formed from prefabulated, demagnetized amulite. It was then surmounted by a malleable, rhythmic tubular casing design so that the two spurving bearings were in a direct line with the parametric axis. It consisted simply of 6 hydrocoptic Marsal banks so fitted to the Lumiere side shaft that angular displacement was basically eliminated. All 7 lenses were connected by non-reversible delta regulators aligned with the differential girdle in the reticle assembly, and that required it to be deployed with optical correction, thereby eliminating repleneration and optical ghosting. Now, the entire framework was built from pre-extruded Caponini rhythmic supports that were held in a malleable container. Now, the container stopped ambigation ingress and degress in the portal end of the optic. Now, this gave the new hypervisor module a way to reduce vibration directly to the reciprocal encapsulator, thereby almost totally reducing the stackable measurement errors, enabling a unilateral multi-level package transmission. Now, in the first scopes, they didn't have internal assemblies. What they did have was external assemblies. Now, that external assembly was a spring-loaded Lotus O Delito type. It was then placed in the panometric hydro slots, which help it combine with a hydraulic stator. Now, I know this sounds terribly oversimplified, and I'm sorry about that, but there's a lot of guys that watch my channel that don't know a great deal about scopes, and I think having this little bit of history of how they originally did it will come in handy. Thanks for watching, guys, and if you haven't already, subscribe. See ya. Optical encapsulate. Now while this sounds off, now the eyepiece had to be formed from rhythmic. It consented so fitted to the Lumiere, aligned in the differential girdle, consented optical illumination, thereby of an extruded Caponini. Now, this gave the high reciprocal Delito type. Now, the external assemblies obviously were built. Now, the external assemblies were the O Delita measurement was built from the Lotus O Delito type.